I wear a pantsuit and a cape. This ice machine don't work. Stan Drool, the maintenance man responsible for it, we'll just call him Stan for short, says it has no Freon in it. Look right here, Long Harvest. Now come on down here.
I closed last night. No, we didn't sell no food. I saw the order of users and two
Well then.
yesterday.
Alright.
Okay.
Let's see what it does. Interesting that this is on the screen. Did you see that? That's not supposed to be there. Anyway. Alright, we're in pre-chill. You can see that the compressor has been replaced with the retrofit kit supplied by Manitowoc. Everything from right here all the way to right here has been repiped by someone. I've got a hot discharge line here. I've got a cold suction line here. I don't see oil anywhere around here. That's nice and twisted right there. Yeah, it was obviously repiped. Got this little surface port right here. Doesn't seem to have any oil around the base of it. They follow the directions. They installed this little compressor here. They even bolted it down crooked like they want. Now, Mr. Drool said this has no Freon in it. That's what he said. Well, he was wrong. Now, how much Freon it has in it, that's a question. You can't really trust these thermistors, but that says there might be something wrong. Could be low. Still in pre-chill. Oh, the water's flowing. We're in freeze now. And I heard the crackling of ice. This discharge line is blazing hot now, like it should be. And this is gradually getting colder. No Freon. There's our discharge line thermistor, just flapping in the wind. So that's not going to be giving us an accurate reading by any stretch of the imagination. It's our T2 reading right there. But the liquid line's coming back 100 degrees, it says. That's reasonable. And that's over 120 degrees, feeling it. I couldn't tell you other than that. Have a look at that service port connection. Got a leak, doesn't it? $108 coming back, huh? Let's head up to the roof and see what the condenser's doing. Yeah, there's another ice machine behind all this. Have a look at this real quick. What do you make of that? There's no ice in this bin. This machine isn't running. But they seem unconcerned about that. Well, let's see if we can get on the roof. Holy fuck. This is, yeah. So here goes the condenser. Discharge line hot as piss. Liquid line hot as piss. This one's discharge. They're the same temperature though. Fan ain't running. That's for the machine next to it, the fullet. So here's how this works. Our orange wire goes right to the center of this connector, ties to this black wire here. Okay, that's this white and black wire here. They are directly connected, and they go to the red and black wires inside of this beautifully installed connector. The white wire in that beautiful connector doesn't hook to anything. What's it look like on the roof, I wonder? And they go to the black and red wires. So it seems it's wired, right? Finally got my meter out. Normally that would have been one of the first things you do, but when you're dealing with Stan, you got to look out for his negligence and stupidity. He could have easily miswired it. After all, he said it had no Freon in it, and it obviously has some. So now it's time to actually see if it's low. I gotta get gauges on it, see what kind of pressures it runs, see whether it should be closing that fan cycle switch or not. I'm just now noticing this. And put the ports back on, and put the caps back on the service ports rather. One of them is still sitting here. The other one's missing. Good job. Grief, man. No Freon in it, guys. No Freon in it. So maybe those standing pressures do look a little low. It could be that Stan's rule was actually right all along. But you can't take anything that guy says too seriously. Drool is his actual last name. His name is Stan Drool. Okay. Unfortunately, that does actually look wrong. Let's give it a minute. Fun fact about these machines. Units with access ports in the front require connection at 4 points. That's right. There's 2. You need another 2 for a total of 3 manifolds in order to connect to this properly. That's a bit ridiculous if you ask me. It ain't building up any head pressure. So, that'll explain that fan not running. It's disappointing. It means it's actually low on refrigerant, but yet there's not a trace of oil anywhere. Not one speck. And I got 2 service valves, 2 service ports here that had no caps when I got here, so they could have done it by themselves. Can't possibly rule that out. So the standard operating procedure here is to recover all this refrigerant, weigh it back in. Who the hell wants to do that? There's the other cap. Let's do an experiment real quick. So I've put soap bubbles in the service ports and it looks like they aren't leaking. See, it's not coming out, so. Let's put some Freon in it. Now, to top off a cuber. Manny Towick will tell you, you can't top these machines off. You always have to weigh it out and weigh it in. Whatever you say, boss. Let's see how it goes. If I was Stan Drool, I would tell you this machine is installed perfectly. If I was HVACR Videos, I'd tell you this machine cannot function at all the way it's installed. It's impossible. So naturally, the real world is somewhere in between those two. Look at the steam coming off the discharge line. Yeah, boy. Have us a temperature clamp right here. And let's have us a temperature clamp right here. Pre-chill. Let's add some refrigerant. There goes the condenser fan cutting on. Yeah, condenser fan works fine. It's spinning a lot faster in real life than it looks like on the camera. Looks like the headmaster finally closed. Needs more gas. Now I've put an awful lot in here, so it was really low. I might have put in half its charge already. But I can't account for where it's gone because I had service port caps missing when I got here. I'm gonna see if I can get it to make a batch of ice. I don't know if you can tell, but that water flow is really weak. Really weak. I wonder what's going on inside that distribution tube there. I heard this machine was really dirty and that the store employees cleaned it. Let's see what's back there. And we told Stan Drool that this machine needed cleaning, and he said, I'll do it. But do not schedule PMs. I'll handle the PMs. Yeah, he handled it. So we're back in pre-chill now. See, pre-chill. It's actually pre-chilling this time. Look at the numbers over here, you see. That's a little bit more like it. See how it does for this round. So our water flow is still kind of weak, but it's doing what it can do. And that's kind of fluctuating. Alright, I turned it off. I just can't be doing with that weak little water flow. I think I know what's going on. Have a look at this. It had actually started forming ice when I turned it off this time. So why is the water flow so weak? It was super slimy. We told him it needed to be cleaned. Stan Drool said, don't worry about it, I'll clean it. And you saw the inside of that water distributor, right? What does it look like at the bottom of this pump? Big surprise there, huh? Yeah. Alright, that's taken care of now. We'll see in a minute how it helped. You know how sometimes people make a really long, drawn-out video about an ice machine, and you think to yourself, man, how on earth do they get paid for this? Seemed like they spent 3 hours doing not much of anything. Well, this is what it looks like in real life. This is the real process that often gets used on diagnosing an ice machine. And all that babbling crap is just an excuse to take a long time. Well, the real deal is ice machines are slow. Anytime you ever work on one, it's always slow. You go to an ice machine call, you don't expect to be there less than an hour. Hey, look at that. It's a bit better. All I had to do was clean the inlet of the pump. So I'm gonna let this thing do its thing and see if it'll harvest this. Ice machines are critically charged. That means you can't just add refrigerant to them. You have to weigh the charge in exactly what the manufacturer says. Well, that's true some of the time. But if you're familiar with the way they work, you find that most of them have a decent bit of wiggle room between overcharged and undercharged. And that sweet spot is possible to find without a refrigerant scale. That can be done. And it does happen way more often than any textbook tech would ever have you believe. Stand by. We got nice, even ice production for the most part. We got numbers over here I can agree with. I found the clip and reattached that discharge thermistor, so may get a bit more accurate subcooling readings, which seems to match what I'm seeing. I think the original problem all along was it was dirty. Stan Drool got a hold of it. Who knows what happened there. With that poor water flow, there was no way it was making ice properly anyway. Then it got improperly recovered using the 2-point method, which is why less refrigerant came out than was expected. Then, no doubt, it was improperly recharged. I don't know about the claim that it made ice, but surely when Mr. Stan Drool came along and reported there was no Freon in the unit, he hooked up to it. And I imagine he's the one who couldn't be bothered to put those service port caps back on. I've looked over this thing. I didn't find any leaks anywhere. I don't think it's leaking. I think it's owned by an idiot. Harvest time. So here's our numbers during harvest. Both sides are up there. There's the important part. Look at this. Isn't that lovely? Oh, but wait, there's more. Beautiful. See water dripping. That's a good sign. Discharge line's only 83 degrees. That's a whole lot hotter than 32. It's coming. Look at that. Yeah, I can live with that. That thing's good to go now. It's either going to work perfectly for a long time or it's going to be dead tomorrow. Only time will tell. So this machine, and I can't tell you why. Sometimes when the power browns out, this happens. All you must do, just unplug that thing for a second, plug it back in. That's it. In this video, we looked at an ice machine and it was broken and we fixed it. Look at my big fancy microphone and my giant headphones, everyone. I hope you liked it. Don't forget to